Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. So in the latest docu-series I want to read for you guys now here is Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich, or it really should be called Jeffrey Epstein Monster Baby. Now if you're living under a rock for the past so many years, or if you've just been not paying attention to the crime stories as of late, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself last year. And this story goes back and forth explaining the whole mystery of who Jeffrey Epstein was and trying to deconstruct the myth that is Jeffrey Epstein. And if you're high profile, basically you can get away with everything. Really, this movie kind of shows the fact that Jeffrey Epstein conned his way into Bear Stearns, conned his way through most of life, and charmed his way and used people to his advantage, more or less. And so by the time the mid-90s rolls around, Vanity Fair is designed to do an article about him, and basically everyone talks about him as if he's this Gatsby-like figure. No one really outside of Wall Street really knows who this guy is and how he makes his money. Clearly, he uses his money to give significant endowments and buys a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, Vanity Fair, who is covering a story for him, this one person who is assigned to do it, sort of becomes the first person to come to discover that, oh yeah, there might be something not good about Jeffrey Epstein. One of the things that we learn about this case is that there are really two types of Jeffrey Epstein victims. And the first sort of cases involve a painter, her sister, and how, oh yeah, the Guggenheim, this one person sold 3 paintings that were bought by Jeffrey Epstein at a discount, and how that whole twisted story. I'm not going to go into this, because the first category were basically people who were not coming from very good families, had hard luck cases, and were basically abused by Epstein and then thrown under the bus again. And the other ones that came from reasonably good homes, had happy childhoods, that were immediately destroyed by Jeffrey Epstein and what they did to him. There's obviously the interviews with these people, particularly in Florida, describing what Jeffrey Epstein did to him, and that is, like, in and of itself creepy. A myriad of talking heads here, one of whom actually happens to be James Patterson himself, and also Joe Berlinger is an executive producer on this. We often think of Palm Beach as this luxurious area, and it is indeed a luxurious area on one side. You go on the other side of the bridge, it's a working class place, a lot of lower middle class families, a lot of poverty to a certain degree. Jeffrey Epstein will be convicted in the first charge in 2008. The police department really tried to format a case here. The attorney in charge happens to be future Secretary Alex Ocasio. What the police come to realize here is, oh yeah, he's running sort of a sex pyramid scheme, bringing in one girl, who brings in another girl, who brings in another girl. And I think one of the more interesting things about our criminal justice system is that really, if you're a high-profile defendant with lots of connections, you get fancy lawyers, you can get away with anything. And that exactly is what Jeffrey Epstein did. He hired Ken Starr, he hired a couple other known Florida attorneys, he hired Alan Dershowitz, because Alan Dershowitz obviously has gotten off a couple of high-profile people, including Klaus Van Bulow and O.J. Simpson, to be exact. Obviously, he's charged with solicitation. He goes to prison, more or less, for 18 months, but he's treated differently than most other sex offenders would in prison. He gets his own private wing, he gets better food, he gets a TV, and, he gets work release for 12 hours a day, and he pays the police, I think, upwards of 6 figures out of his own pocket. And you get to see that 2010 deposition of him on a couple of women's suit obviously, and basically he's treating that deposition more or less like a joke, and he's like, I'm asserting my Fifth Amendment privilege here. Any person with something to hide will obviously do that. He'll obviously go to that Virgin Island place that he owns, or a lot of people have now called it Pedophile Island, and basically one worker is like, oh yeah, I saw Bill Clinton there, I saw Prince Andrew there. And a lot of them were like, yeah, this is where I got raped and all that other glorious stuff. Gets exposed, and then he's charged with another couple attempts of sex trafficking. Now, I would like to say that unlike, say, Michael Jackson, who has private defenders, and maybe to a lesser extent R. Kelly, no one came out after everything was done to defend Jeffrey Epstein. Everyone was like, yeah, I didn't really know him all that well. Obviously, all this is dealing with the survivors, and how in the last episode, we know how this ends, and Jeffrey Epstein basically committing suicide in his prison cell, and sort of rumors that, oh yeah, he might have been done in by some high-profile individual, some person coming in and saying, oh yes, this is conceivably true. Now, obviously, at the same time, we deal with the Virginia Roberts thing. As I said, Prince Andrew was on that island, and basically that's, if you saw that interview, that's probably one of the worst mea culpas you've ever saw. Virginia Roberts is like, yeah, I don't expect him to show up his hand and say, I'm sorry, but it's like, you should at least have acknowledgement of what I went through. And obviously, Bill Clinton is like, I hadn't seen him in, so many years. Our current president is like, yeah, I wasn't a fan. I had a falling out, even though he sort of was quoted saying, he likes women as much as I do. Yeah, I can't do it well as him. So in the end, folks, if you're looking for a good Dateline show, and this is a good Dateline show to watch because it tells you stuff that you might not have heard before. So in the end, folks, Jeffrey Epstein, filthy rich, aka Predator. Have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, and enrich yourself with knowledge. I'm on Twitter at MichaelRichardRiches2. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.